So when our minds are disturbed at all, this is defilement again. So when our minds are steady, kept concentrated, then we're abstaining from killing. And we can hold that perhaps for a short while. But we find we can't hold it forever. We go out, we have to do daily things, we have to go and eat, we have to go and do shopping, and go to work, and so on and so forth. And very quickly, old habits reassert themselves. So we have to take this meditation practice a bit further than just holding our minds steady. We have to use our minds to observe and to watch ourselves and to develop what is known as vipassana, insight. And this is crucial because when insight arises, when you begin to see and understand things in a new way, as they really are in fact, then your life changes. And that's when you find yourself abstaining quite naturally, quite voluntarily from killing, because there is no longer the interest, there is no longer the desire, because what is there to desire? The things of the world are all transitory. You see that, you're watching that, again and again as you observe and watch yourself, you see this. And by and by it begins to sink in and you accumulate understanding. You accumulate insight. Generally speaking, it doesn't all happen at once. But we begin to see, our eyes begin to open, the scales begin to fall, and we see things differently. And that changes us. And the change is this practice, increasingly a practice of extension, as the interest in play falls away, dies away. So remember, this is the practice of abstaining. Abstention from killing, abstention from doing that which is harmful. And when you abstain from doing what is harmful, when you abstain, when you work with your mind to abstain from greed and anger and aversion, then actually, some people will feel this is kind of negative way of going about things. I hear from time to time people going on about, it's much, much better to have positive precepts and to do positive things and to develop generosity rather than worry about not stealing. But this is nonsense, because our natural tendency is towards giving. It isn't being generous, it's towards defilement. So we have to put into operation this practice of abstaining. But then when you abstain from doing these things, actually quite automatically, you give yourself and the world and the people around you huge gifts. Because you give a gift of security. You know, we pick up on each other very easily. You don't have to be psychic or anything like that. We're constantly adapting to things, to what we experience. We're constantly adapting to the people that we meet. And sometimes we see someone, we open the door, there's someone there, and we're worried by that person, automatically. They look a bit ugly, a bit sort of angry. And quite automatically, we're worried by them. They are a threat to us. So, when we open the door and there's someone who is no threat, then it's a great gift. When we're meeting people who are no threat to us, then it's a great gift to us. It's a security, and we can begin to live a much more peaceful and pleasant life. And that comes simply through the practice of abstaining. You don't have to abstain from big things, but just daily try to abstain from anger, from greed, from a mind which is upset. When your mind moves, just check it. And this is an ongoing practice. When you practice meditation, as I say, then while you're concentrated, you're abstaining. When you see things in their true nature, when you begin to watch yourself, then you find your interest in the play beginning to disappear. So this is, I think now I'm beginning to think more and more of Buddhism as an abstinence-based recovery. I love this term, abstinence-based recovery. And there's nothing magical about it, you see. It's a practice, a practical thing we can all do. I know that lots of people come to the temple to ask for favours. And I know that sometimes people think that doing the meritorious things automatically brings favours. But you know, if you're asking, you'll never stop asking. You don't have to ask for anything. You just put into practice this abstinence-based recovery. And everything comes. And you do it yourself. Not based on any kind of sort of superstition or belief in some other power. It's all there within your power, within your grasp. And this is the marvellous message of Buddhism. It's a real grown-up religion. I think of some of the other religions, and this may sound a bit pompous, but it's as if you're not quite grown up. I used to say that when you're practicing Buddhism, you're growing up. I was the thing that led me to think like this was that many years ago, as most of you know, I used to be an actor. Many years ago, I was in this extraordinary play by Shaw called Back to Methuselah. And the last part of it is based supposedly in the future, when human beings have sort of evolved. This is just a kind of vision of how things might be. And the children are sort of up to about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. And then after that they begin to mature and they start to think, and some take an interest in science and some in the arts. And further on, in this play, there's a group of people called the Ancients. And they look exactly like Buddhist monks and nuns. They're shaven-headed, and they're supposedly walking the mountains, and the children don't understand them at all, because they think that life is all about playing and having fun. And they think these ancients are pretty weird, because they don't do any of that. And these children also can't quite understand the scientists and the arts people, why they're taking an interest in these things and not having fun. And of course the scientist thinks that everything is to be explained by science, and the arts people think that's all rubbish, and really it's all to be found in following the arts. But then as they grow older, their interest in these things fade. First of all, the interest in playing games fades, and then the interest in science and arts fades, and eventually they end up walking the mountain tops as ancients. They're growing up. And I think that over many lives, that's what we do. We grow up. It's a slow process, and we all see people playing at life. I once knew a man, quite an interesting chap really, and he said to me, Buddhism is one of the great religions, if not the greatest religion. And then he went on about, he said, we talked a little bit about rebirth and reincarnation. And he said that he had 2 sons. And he said when these sons were born, it was the same midwife. And the first one, she said to him, this one's been here before. Second son, this is a new one, she said. And he said, she was absolutely right. He said, the first son was very thoughtful, interested in things. The second one, just playing in life. And that's how we are. We're all at different stages of development, of evolution. We're evolving, growing up through life. When we get to Buddhism, we have the chance to really grow up pretty quickly, because we have the method of inquiring into our lives and understanding what it's all about. When I came to Buddhism, I wasn't very concerned about being peaceful and all that. I didn't feel particularly unpeaceful or particularly unhappy. But when I encountered Buddhism and Buddhist meditation to begin with, I suddenly realized that this was a way when I might actually begin to understand why I'm here and what life is about. And that's what really gripped me, the desire to understand. And understanding means growing up. And the practice of Samatha and Vipassana means a way of growing up. And that's what we're doing as Buddhists. And of course, as we go along the way, like children, we make mistakes. And we find it difficult to abstain from being angry or greedy. Children, I don't have much experience with children, but I've seen enough. But they're pretty unrestrained sometimes. I was telling people the other night, when I first went on a meditation retreat, it was tough. But then when I left and I was on the train back, on that train, in the same carriage, was a family, quite a nice family, but young children. God, it was like searing through my brain because I felt so sensitive. These kids, it was, I want. And it was like in neon, in my brain. And I never thought of it, I'd never seen it quite like that before. But having practiced Vipassana for 2 weeks intensively, it was just like neon lights. I want, all the time. As we grow up a bit, we sort of restrain this desire. And we learn to discipline ourselves. It doesn't mean the desire and the anger and all the rest of it goes away. We're just better at managing it. But now, when we've got Buddhism, we can go further. Not just manage it, but abstain from it. And abstain from it all totally. And that, believe you me, is growing up. So I wish you all well and I hope you grow up soon.